The sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It is a jam-packed Tuesday. I can't believe how much stuff we got to get to. First off, it's Dinger Tuesday. Second, it's $5 Tuesday. We got a play of the day. We got an NFL future on a wide receiver. And we got Jesse Schule coming on. He's going to be giving out some fades, not the haircuts. Just a couple of MLB teams that we're going to be fading. And then Ross, the boss Benjamin, is going to break down 2 MLB games. And Ross has been having fun with AI. You don't want to miss this. Ross has been really getting into AI, and I could not be more excited. So, all right, let's get to it. We're 40 seconds in. Let's do the play of the day. Nice win yesterday on the tennis doubles play. So we're going to go to the Phillies and the Marlins. And I was hoping that the books are going to give us 3.5 on the Marlins team total, not 4.5. And they gave us 3.5 with a little bit of juice. So if you're okay with laying a little bit of juice, I am. I think this is a pretty good play here. We got Aaron Nola starting for the Phillies. His struggles this year have been well documented. He's given up 3 or more runs in 4 out of the last 5 starts. He's got a 5.82 ERA this season. And the Phillies may have a little bit of a bullpen problem today. Wheeler only went 3 innings yesterday. He got roughed up. Phillies had to use 5 arms. They might be a bit thin today. Maybe they have to leave Nola a little bit longer in there. And the Marlins, awful start to the second half of the season. They lost 9 straight to start the second half. But yesterday, their bats came alive. They scored 5 runs in the first 2 innings. They have a big 9th inning comeback. Could be the start of a good streak. We see this happen all the time in baseball. You go on a great streak, you go on a bad streak. I think they maybe got their bats working for them a little bit yesterday. So let's take this Marlins over team total 3.5. And I would say if you're going to play it sooner rather than later, because I would not see money coming in on the under on the Marlins going up against Nola. Nola couldn't throw a clean inning to a little league team. Harsh, but I agree. All right, so that's going to be your play of the day. Dan, let's play the drop for $5 Tuesday. Let's get ourselves hyped up a little bit here.
Are you not entertained?
They love it when I turn off the bass.
Are you not entertained?
All right, $5 Tuesday. It is now available at all 3 sites: WagerTalk, Picks and Parlays, Sports Memo. We all can put up $5 plays. I've got 3 of them that are up at WagerTalk. I'll tell you about that a little bit later. And somebody that I know has a $5 play up is Jesse Schule, Mr. Fade God himself. Jesse, welcome. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Doing very well, Andy.
We're going to talk a little bit about MLB, but it's college football, so you got a little college football future for us. There's a little tease, but we bring you on, tell you who we ask you, who are you going to fade? We don't even assign you games. Just say, give us a couple teams or players or people to fade. Give us your first team and why are we fading them?
Well, I think we got to start with the Athletics. And if you're betting on the Athletics today, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know how anybody could look at this game and say, I like the Athletics. Boston, what are they, 21-4 in their last 25 overall, the hottest team in Major League Baseball. Jake Bennett will be the starter for Boston, 6-3 with a 2.58 ERA and a whip under 1. And he's 4-0 with a 1.74 ERA in his last 4 starts. Boston has the number 1 ranked bullpen in baseball, and the Athletics have the worst bullpen in Major League Baseball. It just doesn't get any more one-sided than this. Oh, by the way, Boston 30-21 at home. Sorry, Boston 30-21 on the road, and the Athletics 20-31 at home. And the Athletics have lost 20 of their last 25 games. So that's Boston 21-4 in their last 25. The Athletics 5-20. And the best thing is the price is minus 145 on the Boston Red Sox. I say you keep riding them. I mean, they're hot. Just keep riding them. Boston it is for me.
Would it be awful or really good to be a player for the Athletics? Like, On one hand, you have absolutely no expectations. Nobody's watching you. You're just ho-humming it along. But at the same time, you reach your childhood dream of making Major League Baseball, and you're on this team that literally doesn't even have a home. At this, would it be awesome or horrible to be an Athletic?
Well, if you started off the season and you knew where you stood and that was fine, I think it would be okay. But let's rewind to June. They were like, I think at one point they might have been even in first place in the AL West. I know for sure they were within a game and a half of first place in the AL West. The AL West is kind of wide open. So to go from that to being where they are now, I mean, that's got to be tough.
Let's move on to the next team you're fading. Interesting team here. I didn't expect this one. What's the team and why are we fading?
I didn't expect to be on this game either. I was 1-1 with my Major League Baseball yesterday, 6-1 with my last 7 Major League Baseball. But yesterday I bet against Max Scherzer because he's an aging pitcher. He's struggled all season long. I view it as every start out for Max Scherzer from here on in could be his last. But Toronto got the job done. They won game 1, and now we get another sort of former Cy Young winner, Shane Bieber, but he's only 31 years old. And, he hasn't done a lot in recent seasons, but I had a look at it, and 2-1 with a 4.70 ERA and a 1.43 whip. That's all right. But if you just look at his last 3 starts, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, and a 3-1 win over Tampa, 6 innings, 0 runs, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts in a 1-0 win over the White Sox, and 4 2/3 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits, 4 strikeouts in a 6-3 win over San Diego. That's his last 3 starts. So at the end of the day, we got a 31-year-old former Cy Young winner that's won 3 straight starts and looked pretty damn good doing it. And he's an underdog to a Washington Nationals team that is 22-33 at home. They have the number 26 ranked bullpen in Major League Baseball with a 4.98 ERA among the relievers. They don't play well at home. Yeah, they can hit, but there's no way that Washington deserves to be a favorite of minus 136 on the money line in this game. I'm not going to fool around with the bullpens, even though Toronto has the edge when it comes to the bullpens. I think Toronto's got the bigger edge with a 31-year-old former Cy Young winner that appears to be on form. So we're going to take Toronto plus a half run for the first 5 innings. I think that's an absolute bargain, Andy.
You worried about this Jays offense? I mean, you get a good pitching performance. They may only need to score 1 to cover this one, but Blue Jays bats are a little bit concerning, yes?
Andy, if you're giving me a Cy Young caliber pitcher that's on form, and you've got the same a healthy lineup that went to Game 7 of the World Series last year, I know they're not playing well, but they did win Game 1. You're giving me a half a run. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, when you say, "Are you concerned about the Jays bats?" That's probably why they're a dog. But so the fact that influences the price, and I can get a half a run for the first 5, sign me up, baby.
All right. There's a little bit. There's a somewhat chance of. There's a chance of rain here, Blue Jays Nationals. So keep your eye on it. Maybe there's a little bit of a delay. So, all right. Let's talk about college football. But first, tell everyone what you have up for $5 Tuesday.
So the only play I have today available is my $5 play, and it's actually a college football regular season win total for an SEC team that I think is overhyped, isn't going to live up to expectations. Man, Andy, I am so excited about college football. Just can't wait to dive in and start breaking down every single game in week 0 and week 1. So you definitely want to grab for $5 to get that regular season win total and know where my head's at regarding the SEC. I think that's a great value. So please take advantage of that.
All right. Jesse's got an SEC win total, just $5 over at WagerTalk. All right. Give us a future here. We're heading out west. What's the team you got your eye on?
Yeah, we're going to look at the Mountain West. And Andy, I want to take you back to 2022. Timmy Chang takes over as the head coach for Hawaii. their first game at home against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Now, I remember distinctly I was on Vanderbilt in that game, and in my analysis, I wrote that the former quarterback, the two-time Hawaii Bowl MVP, Timmy Chang, got the job not because he was the best man for the job, but because he was the only guy they could find that would actually take the job. Hawaii, the program at that point in time, was an absolute dumpster fire. And this was one of the first games of the 2022 season. And I think a lot of people will remember it because it was a 63-10 absolute behind the woodshed stomping for the Vanderbilt Commodores. And when you lose 63-10 to Vanderbilt, you know your program's in big trouble. Well, Timmy Chang has since taken this team to a bowl game 2 years ago, another bowl game last year, a 9-4 season, 5-3 in the Mountain West. They were 7-1 at home. That home record includes a 38-6 win over San Diego State, which was in first place at the time. The one home loss was by a score of 23-21 to Fresno State. Fresno State has since moved on to the Pac-12, along with several of the big boys in the Mountain West. And, if somebody asked me right now, who's the best coach and who's the best quarterback in the Mountain West, my answer would probably surprise most people, but I'm going to pick Timmy Chang and Mika Alejado. Alejado threw for 3,106 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 9 picks last year, but some of you might remember he actually injured his foot in the very first game in week 0 against Stanford last year. He battled that injury the entire season and still led Hawaii to 9 wins. And when you talk about returning starters and depth for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, I just want to point out, Timmy Chang has got this team to 9 wins. Has he done it with NIL money in the transfer portal, all these amazing resources? I think we all know the answer is no. He's obviously very good at evaluating talent. He's done a fantastic job. And if Timmy Chang did something like this on the mainland at a school like Utah State or New Mexico or UNLV, I think he'd be getting a lot more hype. I think he's done a fantastic job, and I think Hawaii has as good a chance as anybody to win the Mountain West. I'll take the 5-1.
I like it. That's a great breakdown. I love when coaches take over programs that just had no chance and just like you just don't expect it. It turns out they're a really good coach. So that's been a pretty cool story. I also wonder on a day-to-day basis, is Hawaii like one of the most bet on teams in college football because it's the late night bailout? We need to ask Art DeCesar this. I wonder what the handle is on Hawaii games at midnight.
I can guarantee it, and I can tell you that based on the view count of my videos, because when I cover a Hawaii game in the single game videos, you get like 10,000 views on a Hawaii video because everybody's scrambling at the last minute looking for that bailout. What's Jesse saying about Hawaii today?
9,000 views are at like 11 p.m. Eastern on Saturday night, a half hour before tip. Yeah, I can absolutely see that. So, all right, Jesse Schule, a couple teams to fade in baseball and a really, really good breakdown on Hawaii. Jesse's got a win total for $5. That's in college football. So thank you so much, Jesse. Great breakdowns. Appreciate you having you every Tuesday.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
All right. A couple things before we bring in Ross Benjamin. This Kyle Shanahan story is one of the most confusing stories I can remember this year. So apparently he got in a horrible car accident, nearly lost an eye, has a severe concussion, and they somehow held it a secret for 2 weeks. I just don't know how you hold something like that a secret for 2 weeks in 2026. Like, how is that possible? So I'm going to bring in Ross here. Have you been following this story here, Ross?
I got to be honest with you. I just know the title of it. He's been injured and seriously injured in a car accident. Now, having said that, what you just said is they held on to the information for 2 weeks before reporting it. That bothers me because not only is it 2026, but the NFL, they're very accepting of all the sports books advertising with them, right? But they don't give a heads up to the sports books for, against the market numbers, you know what I mean? So that may change a lot of people's mind. It may move a regular season win total. It may move the odds to win the NFC West. It may move San Francisco's chances of making the playoffs even. There's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to that. Let's face it, Kyle Shanahan is a proven winner. He leaves a lot to be desired when he gets down to the nitty-gritty in championship games. But having said that, his loss, even if it's for a temporary period of time, will be very impactful in all those markets.
I immediately went and looked at the win total. I immediately, I was like, what's the over under? They say he has a severe concussion. He still has symptoms and he's limited in coach. This is not good juju for the San Francisco 49ers coming off of this thing where all their players got hurt and they're saying it's because of the electrical facility and now their head coach is in a serious accident. I can't believe they didn't let this story get out or somebody didn't leak it. I can't believe that happened in 2026. A nurse didn't say anything.
Yeah.
How does that not?
I blame it on the NFL more than anything. They're so arrogant. They feel like they can get away with anything. They'll take your advertising dollar, yet they don't want to show you the same respect and courtesy in return. Come on. Anyway,
I agree 100%, 100% on that one. So, all right, let's break down some games here. I believe we've got Astros and Angels, and I believe we've got Tigers and Orioles here. Is that correct? Let's start with the Astros and the Angels. You got Lambert going for Houston. You got Detmers going for the Angels here. How do you break this game down?
Yeah, Houston, when I look at a consensus, they're around a -110 favorite here on the road against the LA Angels, and rightfully so. And I think we're catching a real good price, what all considered here on Houston. Look, the Astros rallied from a 4-2 deficit going into the top of the ninth last night to win that game 6-4. This is a fragile LA Angels team when it comes to confidence, and that certainly didn't help their confidence after that, that meltdown. And last night, with that win, the Astros have now won 6 of their last 7 games. And Pete Lambert gets a start, as Andy alluded to, for the Houston Astros, and he's been solid in 6 road starts this year, 2.78 ERA and 1.18 WHIP. Those are pretty good numbers. His last 5 overall, a 2.45 ERA and a 1.02 WHIP. In the Houston bullpen over their last 6 games, 4 for 4 on save opportunities and a 4.8 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio. Those are good numbers as well. Now, Reed Detmer is interesting. He's much better than his record indicates. However, over his last 4 starts, he's 0-4 in his team starts. With a 4.87 ERA, and he allowed 5 home runs in 20 and a third innings pitched during that course of time. And, Andy, if you've been paying attention to the possible moves at the MLB trade deadline, Reed Detmer's name seems to be popping up left and right. So he's almost like a lame duck pitcher in this situation. The Houston Astros, by the way, 30 for 111 lifetime, current Houston roster, 30 for 111 lifetime against Detmer. It's a 270 team batting average and also a very good 386 on base percentage. I put a lot more stock into this, Andy, how the current roster does against a starting pitcher than how a starting pitcher does against a franchise, period. Like over the last 5 years, Detmer's got a 1-something ERA against Houston. I'm being hypothetical. I want to know how he's done against his current roster, not, the last 4 or 5 years. In any event, the Angels have lost 4 of their last 5. They've lost 7 of their last 10 at home. Houston 8-3 in their last 11 games on the road when the money line is between +115 and -115. So they've done awfully well in games in which in games in which the odds makers see it as a pretty even matchup. I'm going to take Houston here, -110 on the money line over the LA Angels.
All right, let's move to the Tigers and the Orioles. But actually, yeah, let's do Tigers and Orioles, and then we got to show Ross getting into it with AI. I'm loving this, Ross. I'm loving Ross, the boss, and the AI.
Yeah, man. I like when I can make you laugh, Andy.
It's a match made in heaven. This is great. So it's like Jordan and Pippen. So let's break down Tigers and Orioles.
Yeah, so the Orioles will go with Dean Kramer on the mound. The Tigers with Troy Melton. And I think Troy Melton, Andy, is one of the most underrated pitchers in the American League. This game goes at 6:40 Eastern. Right now, as we speak, the Tigers, I'm seeing minus 140 at BetMGM. And across the board, they're like 140 to 145 in that area. Dean Kramer, poor form over his last 3 starts, a 7.20 ERA, a 153 whip, and 5 home runs allowed in just 15 innings pitched. Troy Melton, on the other hand, like I said, Andy, underrated pitcher. He has a superb 134 ERA and 0.92 whip over his last 6 starts, and he also recorded 43 strikeouts and 33 2/3 innings pitched in those 6 outings. Anytime a starting pitcher averages more than a strikeout per inning pitched, it's noteworthy. Current Orioles roster against Melton. Very limited sample size, but it's noteworthy nonetheless, as they're only 1 for 18 against Melton, a 0.56 team batting average. And, Detroit, we talked about Dean Kramer, his vulnerability to giving up the long ball over his last 3 starts. This Tigers team, if you look at their overall home run numbers, it's not real impressive. But when you consider the fact that Detroit has hit 48 home runs, I should say, in their first 56 games, and then they've rebounded to hit 79 over their last 51 outings. That's something to take a look at, folks. Tigers minus 140 for me over the Orioles. I would go as high as 150, folks, and 150 or lower on the Tigers over the Orioles on the money line.
All right. Ross liking the Detroit Tigers. All right, Ross, you sent us in AI, but you started off with graphics, as most people do, and now you've branched into videos. So this is great. I love this. So, Dan, if we have Ross's video here, let's go ahead.
I'm the number 1 college football betting expert the last 3 seasons. Get my 2026 college football annual package for just $499 at WagerTalk.com.
Gotta love that guy.
He looks and sounds awesome, Ross.
Hey, man, I'm telling you. We got to evolve, right, Andy? Even me I'll be 69 next month, so I got to keep up with you young guys, man.
Oh, that's great. All right. In all seriousness, do tell us about college football because you're one of the best at it. It's $5 Tuesday. So tell us what you have up and then tell us about college football.
Well, first we'll start with $5 Tuesday. I have a Major League Baseball money line winner up right now at a very reasonable money line price. And Major League Baseball on a 30-21 run with my last 51 Major League Baseball premium picks. That's 59% with a net profit of 29.24 units. Folks, all sports plus 191.32 units in net profit over the last 440 days. So longevity speaks volumes, and it's not a fluke when it lasts that long. So again, folks, you should look into my 365-day all-access pass. If you bought that right now, you're going to get the rest of the baseball season. You're going to get all of college football and the NFL season. You're going to get all of the NBA and college basketball season for $14.59, an average of $4 a day. Let me repeat that again, an average of $4 per day and plus 191.32 units in net profit. That goes all the way back to May 13th of last year, and that includes plus 68.30 units in net profit in Major League Baseball. So again, that's great. And then college football over the last 3 seasons, 182 and 120, 60.3% winners with my college football premium picks, a net profit of over 155 units. That ranks number one at WagerTalk over the last 3 seasons. And last year, I actually had the best year out of the 3, and I finished number 2. But still, worth mentioning, last year, 53-31 with my college football premium picks. That's good for 63.1%. And I made a net profit of 75.99 units. And that includes 13-3 last year on college football 5% best bets. I give out one of those per week, and we did awfully well when doing so. Andy, they can get my college football annual package right now, right through the national championship game, includes everything: regular season, conference championship games, bowl games, college football playoffs, right through the national championship game for only $4.99. I don't know what you people are waiting for. If you bet college football, it's not a one of those one-hit wonders. I've done it for the last 3 years at a very high rate. So there you have it, folks. WT.buzz/RB. WT.buzz/RB is my personal link over at WagerTalk.com.
All right, Ross, man, I love having you on this show, man. It's great every Tuesday.
I love being on it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Andy.
this is great, man. Hey, listen, we're not too far away from you coming on Tuesday and breaking down college football and maybe some NFL. So buckle up, guys. Thank you very much, Ross. Good luck on all your bets.
Thank you, Andy, for having me once again.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple questions about some games in MLB. Cincy and Cleveland game 1. I make it a personal rule that I do not bet on first or second games in doubleheaders. The only way that I do anything with doubleheaders is if one team wins the first game, may look at the next team to win. It just feels like there's a lot of splits. I did look at this game. I did have a player prop that I kind of liked when this game was originally scheduled. It was going to be Chase Burns under 6.5 strikeouts. The strikeouts really haven't been there in the month of July, only 4, 2, and 6. Look at his strikeouts in June, 10, 7, 7, 7, 9. So I get why that number is so high, but he just hasn't been as sharp. You mentioned the under 9.5. I don't know, man. Burns, he was really good the last time out, but the previous couple, I don't think I would trust him that much. So, it would be a no play for me. If anything, I might actually take a little sprinkle on the first 5, but I can't say that it's going to make the client card. So, let's see. Yeah, don't bet against Chase Burns. Yeah, I can't bet on or against him right now. So, Brewers on the money line. I know the guys at on total bases broke this game down. Who are the Brewers? The Giants. Yeah, I don't trust Roop at all. And you got a good pitcher for Brewers. So Brewers money line would be a play for sure. So, all right. $5 Tuesday, guys. Okay, I got 3 plays up. So I'll explain what all we have up and where you can get these plays. So if you go to WT.buzz/AL, there's 3 $5 plays up. One is an MLB player prop. This is the hottest thing going for us right now. It may be on the website. 19-5 run on MLB prop. So you can get that one. We have a UFC $5 play that is up. That goes off on Saturday. So if you're getting the UFC play, that's for Saturday. It's a parlay. It's a little bit juicy, but we've hit 6 straight UFC winners, so we love that one. And then WNBA is back. We've got a $5 WNBA prop. So we have 3 plays that are up for $5 Tuesday. If you want a 5% best bet, we got a 5% up for UFC. That goes off on Saturday as well. So a lot of things going on. It's not the dog days of summer, man. We keep cashing. So the MLB props have just been absolutely lights out, fantastic. Number 1 on WagerTalk in MLB props. So really, really proud of the work that we've been doing over there. So, all right, it is Dinger Tuesday, and we got a player prop to break down in the NFL. Let's do the player prop in the NFL, and then we'll do Dinger Tuesday. So, all right. Player prop is going to be Tuesdays. We do wide receivers. Monday, we broke down Jared Goff. We got James Cook coming up tomorrow. We got the Kansas City Chiefs. And Friday, we have a viewer choice. I know we already had a comment for the Baltimore Ravens. I believe we got a couple suggestions, so maybe I'll break down 2 of them on Friday. But yes, I heard you. Baltimore Raven, player proper win total. Okay, Brian Thomas Jr., over under 4.5 receiving touchdowns. He had a huge 2024 with 10 touchdowns, and then something went wrong, and he only had 2 last year. There has been some kind of falling out with Trevor Lawrence and the Jags that we've heard rumblings of. He did have injuries last year, wrist and shoulder injuries. So, anytime you got a young player that's dealing with injuries, it can be very frustrating. There's lots of competition for targets on this team now. Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, even Brenton Strange. There's a lot of offensive weapons here. Are they as dynamic as Brian Thomas when he's healthy? No, but just be aware that there's going to be a lot of guys catching passes. If you believe that he and Trevor Lawrence can get back on the same page, he flies over this number. If you don't trust his health, you don't trust his role with the Jags, you go way under. Don't forget Travis Etienne's not there anymore. Another strange thing for touchdowns, Trevor Lawrence ran for 9. So you wonder how many passing touchdowns are going to be available. I'm going to say that he obliterates this total. I just find it impossible that a guy this talented, when healthy, can't get back to the numbers that he did in 2024. I don't think this is an in-between. I don't think he has 4 or 5 touchdowns. I think he has 7 or 8 or 2 again. I think it's healthy. I trust Trevor Lawrence to just figure it out with a guy like this. When you're a quarterback that's been around like Trevor Lawrence has, you just know how to make it work. So I'm going to take a pretty strong approach on this one and say he goes way over this one. I predict 7 or 8 for Brian Thomas Jr. All right, that is your NFL player prop. Now, everybody show us your dinger. It's time for Dinger Tuesday. Let's play the drop, Dan. All right. After the show, go ahead and put your dinger in there. Sadly, we had to get rid of the free 3-day flex pass. It only takes a few people to ruin a good thing. Just really, really disappointed that we can't do the 3-day flex pass. Some of you guys that emailed in and clogged up customer support at all hours, bitching about the 3-day pass. This is why we can't do it anymore. So you want to participate in Dinger Tuesday, put it in the comment section, but unfortunately that has come to a screeching halt. So bummer. Only takes a couple people. All right. Dinger Tuesday. I'm going to go to the Dodgers and Max Muncy at plus 450. He gets a good matchup against Castillo for Seattle. Castillo's only given up 14 home runs this year, but 5 in the last 2 games. So we got Muncy, who has 20 home runs this year. He's gone 2 games in a row without one. So he's due, and he's also 0-13 lifetime against Castillo. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it means he's due. So give me Max Muncy as my Dinger Tuesday pick. I think he goes yard against Castillo. All right. Hit the like button. Drop a comment. Show is over for Tuesday. Appreciate Ross. Appreciate Jesse. Again, $5 Tuesday. I've got 3 of them up at WagerTalk. Get as many as you want. They're all at Sports Memo. They're at Picks and Parlays. Make sure you bet responsibly. Don't have too much of your bankroll in play on a Tuesday in the middle of the summer, but no reason why we can't turn a profit. So the 5% doubles tennis play that was supposed to be this morning, it got moved to this afternoon. So it went from a wake in cash to basically a wait in cash. So hopefully we get that home and we cash that one to get Tuesday off to a good start. All right. Thanks very much. See you guys tomorrow. And good luck on your bets today on $5 Tuesday. Take care.